Back in September of last year, I was out for a run, and on my way back, I started to notice the pictures of rainbows that people had put up in their front windows from back in March in the first lockdown, when all the kids had drawn pictures of rainbows to show support for the NHS and key workers. Round here also the kids had taken chalk and drawn on the pavements and on the side of their houses and everything. But by September, of course, they were all starting to look a little bit faded, and the blue tack was coming off the windows and the rain had washed away the chalk. And that's when the line came to me: after the rainbows have gone, why can't we all just move on? I think it may be something to do with the rhythmic nature of running and cycling, as I often come up with things when I'm out. And I also came up with a little tune for it at the time while I was running along. And it's very simple. It just goes, after the rainbows have gone, why can't we all just move on? Which is about as simple a tune as you could come up with. But I got home, did a quick recording to capture it in that moment. Now, sometime later, I sat down to write out the lyrics in full. Now, this is a bit of a departure from my usual songwriting method, which is to sit down with a guitar, strum about until I find 4 chords that I like that sit together, and then start writing lyrics to fit with it. And the whole thing usually takes about 30 minutes. This one was different, though, and lyrically it's quite different from a lot of the stuff that I write. The lyrics are sort of third person. It's an imagined character that I'm writing, not me. I don't want to get into a lot of detail about what the lyrics mean and all that sort of stuff. I've posted them on social media, on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I'll put lyrics to it down in the description so you can have a look. But I don't want to start explaining stuff. It's for you to decide what you think the lyrics mean. So I've got the lyrics and I've got this basic one-line melody. So what next? Well, now is when I start playing around with ideas and thinking about what sort of song this should be. So it's a very simple melody, and the lyrics are quite sad. So it's not going to be some massive bouncy rock anthem or anything like that. It's going to be pared back. It's going to be quite simple, and it's going to be slightly melancholy. So I picked up my guitar, my acoustic, and I started twiddling about a bit. I played around with the chords, tried to work out what key I was in initially. I found that vocally what was working best for me in terms of singing it was to put it in the key of C. So I started with that, and I started playing with it on my acoustic guitar. And rather than sort of strum out chords, what I found quite quickly was that I wanted the guitar line to follow the melody, to follow the vocal. So that's what I worked out on the acoustic. But I wanted a different sound for it as well, so then I tried plugging in my Telecaster and started playing around with tones. And I went for a big tone, put lots of reverb on it, and then put a slight tremolo effect on there too. And that's as far as I've got. But now I've got the idea firmly stuck in my head as an earworm, and so I'm starting to think about what else is going to go with it and how else it's going to work. I'm starting to think about things like vocal harmonies and maybe a soft pulsing bass line. So the next step is to start recording some of these ideas, get them into Ardour and start working on it, which is what I'm going to do in the next video.